Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and I love to craft. Today we will be playing around with the Concord and 9th cardstock and their ink cubes. So let's go ahead and get our card. So it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and we could go ahead and score the line. And we are going to score it at 5 1/2. Just like that, and we can go ahead and fold our card. And then we have our top panel here, and this is what we will be building up today. So we can go ahead and set this card to the side. Go ahead and put that tool back on there and set this to the side as well. The color collection that we will be playing with today has creamsicle, watermelon, wild berry, grasshopper, eucalyptus, and rainforest. And we also have the coordinating ink cubes. So let's go ahead and open this up and take a look. Now we have already used these, so the only color that we don't have in this pack is rainforest. So we have grasshopper, eucalyptus, wild berry, creamsicle, and watermelon. We are going to be using the Sizzix Big Shot today. So I am going to pick out some colors that go with the dies, and I will be right back. Okay, so I went through and separated the dies on which ones that we will be using for this card today. And I also picked out some colors. We will be adding in some Recollections brand paper pads as well. So I want to take this one here, and I'm only going to cut as much as I need. We'll stack that right there and set it to the side. We will also need a little piece for this one. And here is the Pink Buttons Recollections paper pad. We're going to be using a light pink from this one. And this will be the other part of the umbrella. I also want to do some pink flowers, so we will also be using the Pink Buttons paper pad. But let's choose 2 different colors. So I want to go in with this one, and definitely a darker one. Like that. And I want to make at least 3 flowers, so let's just go ahead and cut off a strip about that long, and then we will alternate the colors, so I'll have to run it through a few different times. So we'll go ahead and set that to the side. The boots, I want to do the blue ombre paper pad, and this one is also by the Recollections brand. And I want to do the boots here. And then it also has another part to the boot, so we'll do it with a light blue. Then I want to take the Concord and 9th cardstock, and this is in the shade Grasshopper. And we want to do some leaves with this one. So we will cut a little square. And then we will also need a piece to the umbrella, and we are going to do that in yellow. And you guys might recognize this little pattern here. This is from my last video. So we are using up those scraps. We'll put the little umbrella piece right there. And I also have the inside piece to the flowers right here, and we'll put that in yellow as well. But I also want to make this long piece to the umbrella yellow too. Okay, so now that I have all of my pieces here, I'm going to run these through my Sizzix Big Shot, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I cut out all of my pieces with the Sizzix Big Shot. However, whenever I was cutting the flowers, I didn't really like it, and I thought that maybe we should do some ink blending. So we are going to take a piece of white cardstock, and we are going to take the Concord and 9th ink cubes, do some ink blending, and we are going to create our flowers that way. I do have a piece of scrap cardstock here, and I'm going to tape it to my glass mat. I cut the piece of scrap cardstock in half, and we are going to tape it down. We'll tape it down at the top and at the bottom, and then on the 2 sides. And we'll also do the same thing to this piece right here. So I definitely want to go in with the creamsicle and the watermelon. those are the two light colors. And please excuse my ink blending brushes. My boys got into them a few months ago and we kind of went a little bit crazy with them. So they are clean, but they are very stained up. So we have watermelon and creamsicle, and I just kind of want to tap on here. We have not used these in quite some time. Okay, and then we will just go in. I have not ink blended in so long that it's going to take me just a second to kind of get back in that rhythm. But you're going to tap on here, tap off any excess, kind of blend it out. Again, this is just a scrap piece of paper, so we are just kind of playing around with it, seeing what the color looks like. I'm really loving the watermelon. I think it's so pretty. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I know that it looks like a hot mess, but I'm really liking this little section right here. And so I think it would be really pretty if we ran it through the Sizzix Big Shot and got that sort of ombre effect. Now I want to go in with creamsicle on this side. So let's swap these two. And we will just kind of get a little bit on our brush, tap it off a little bit, kind of get it started. I think that this one is a really light color. We'll just kind of bring it in at the top. Okay, it is very light, so I'm just going to do a little portion up here at the top. We have plenty here. I'm going to go ahead and put the lids back on. Set those to the side, and then we can go ahead and peel up our washi tape. And I'm going to go ahead and run the flowers through my Sizzix Big Shot, and I'll be right back. Okay, now I'm done cutting those out with the Sizzix Big Shot, and they turned out so pretty. Here they are up close. So it's kind of like your own custom flowers, which I think is really neat, especially as a creator. You end up loving things that you make a lot more. And so this is just so stinking cool. I think I'll definitely implement this in my future cards. Since I was so inspired with the ink blending, I think I'm actually going to create an ombre effect with these two colors for the top of our card panel. And I think that that would just be really neat. So I'm going to take my washi tape and I'm going to tape down the front card panel. So we're going to line up the top edge of our card with the top edge of the washi tape. Just like that. Press down, tear it off, and then we will tape up the bottom part. Tear it off, and then do the two sides as well. I want to start the top of the card with creamsicle, so I'm going to open that one up, tap on the ink pad, tap it onto the glass mat, and then we are going to bring it in. Creamsicle is a very light color, so you might have to go over it a few times. Okay, so now that we have the creamsicle on there, let's go ahead and go in with the watermelon. And we will start by tapping the ink pad, tap it off, and then we are going to blend upward. And then you are just going to keep on blending until you get the right color that you are going for. And I think that we have reached our goal with this one. So I'm going to go ahead and peel up the washi tape. Oh my goodness, this looks so cute already. And be careful if you have a really sticky washi tape, it'll end up ripping your paper. So if you do this, just peel it very gently. Wow, oh my goodness, I think that just totally elevated our card. Okay, so let's go ahead and start assembling all the pieces. So we're going to set this off to the side and let it dry. And we are going to start off with the rain boots. We'll take these two pieces and add on a little bit of glue. And then I'm going to take my reverse tweezers, and it's easier to pick up all of your pieces with these. So if you don't have a pair, go ahead and run out to Hobby Lobby and get you some. They are the best invention, especially for adding on tiny little pieces like this. The thing that I recommend is to put a stamp block on all of your pieces. It just holds down that glue and it just dries a lot more flat. So I definitely recommend one of those. Let's get this other boot piece put on there. And then we can put that sideways, that way that it's pressing both pieces. And then we could start working on our umbrella. And again, this is the color Watermelon in the Concord and 9th cardstock. And this other pink piece right here, this is from the Pink Buttons Recollections paper pad. I think that they pair nicely together. Okay, so we'll glue that down, and then we'll take the top of the umbrella, put a little bit more glue right there, and place it down. Let's take our stamp block, put it on top, and then we can go ahead and attach the handle to the umbrella. We'll use our reverse tweezers, that way that we can put it in place a lot easier. Just like that. All right, let's go ahead and separate our flower pieces to see which ones that we're actually going to be using. Cut out a little bit more than I think I'm actually going to end up using, which is completely fine. So we want to do probably those together and layer it with these pieces. And then we'll have the yellow parts to go inside. So we'll set these off to the side. And then we'll have some leaves coming out of those. All right, so let's go ahead and start gluing these down. But just a little tiny dot of glue on the inside piece. And then we'll pick up these yellow pieces here and just put them on top. And here are the pieces. They have a little indentation in there, that way that you know where to put the tiny little yellow piece. So I'm actually just going to pick these up and just put them on there. And just slide that in place. And then we can add on these little pieces here. Put it on top just like that. I think that it's really neat whenever you are layering all of these pieces and then you look at the end result and it's like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe that I actually made that. Like, it's just so rewarding looking at, you know, what you create, and then especially mailing it out, it's just really gratifying. So I love making cards and mailing them to people and just not telling them and they get their little piece of happy mail. and they end up, you know, messaging me, and it's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe you mailed me a card. And so, I don't know. I just like mailing people cards. So this has definitely been such a fun hobby of mine. And looking back, I thought, man, I'll never get into card making. Like, that's a lot of work. So I would just watch, you know, all of the top crafty people and just watch what they would create. And then I bought my first stamp and die set, and I fell in love and have not looked back. So it's just been so much fun. All right, so I think that we want to put the umbrella here, and then we are going to have the rain boots here. And I actually want to glue these together. I think that they look great like that. So let's just put on a little bit of glue right there. Kind of stack those right there. And then I want to alternate the flowers. So we need a pink one in the middle. Maybe even something like that. I wonder if we could have them coming out of the rain boot. That would be so pretty. Okay, I actually like the way that that looks. Let's see. I think that I will just glue down this side of the flower like that. And then we can glue down that side of the flower like that. Let's see what it looks like. And then we will put the stamp block on top so that it kind of holds it all together for just a minute. And then let me go find a sentiment and I'll be right back. While we're waiting for all of this to dry, let's go ahead and stamp out our sentiment. So we will be using the Misty today. I really want to use Hello Spring, but I think it's way too big. Maybe we should go in with Wishing You a Lovely Day. Let's see. I just don't want it to be too busy or anything like that. So we might just go in with Hi. I don't know. I feel like that's just not enough. So let's go ahead and go with Hello Spring. I think we should just do it. I have a scrap piece of cardstock here, and it's literally a scrap. But we'll put our stamp right here. And then we need to fold over the folder. That way that it sticks to it right there. And then we'll go in with our Memento in Tuxedo Black. Stamp it really good. Close up that folder. Push it down. That looks great. So let's go ahead and just fussy cut it out. And if you've never heard of fussy cut, it's just whenever you don't have a die and you just kind of cut around it. I'm not sure where the name came from, but it works for me. And let's start gluing down all of our pieces. So I definitely want to attach the umbrella probably last, but we can definitely mock it up just to see what it looks like. We'll have the boots there, and then we'll have the little leaves coming out. Maybe something kind of like that. For the umbrella, I kind of want to tilt it a little bit and then put Hello Spring somewhere on there. I think I definitely need to trim this one down a little bit more though. So we cut this one down, and I actually like it like that. So I'm going to glue down the boots. And we'll put them right there. And then I do want to slide this under, so I'm going to put some glue on top and on the back. And you just want to put the glue where you know it's going to go under the boots if you're doing it on the front. So something kind of like that. And then we'll put some glue on the back of this. Have it sticking out the back like that. And then maybe put this one right there. All right, let's take our stamp block, put it on top so it kind of holds it in place for just a moment. I really like that, so I'm going to go ahead and glue it down. We'll tilt it like that, and then add some glue to the back of this, and put it like that. So I'm going to leave the stamp block on there, let it dry for just a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, so now that everything has had a little bit of time to dry, let's go ahead and flip this over, and we are going to take some foam strips and we are going to put them on the back, and then we're going to peel up the back, and then I'm going to place it on the top of the card, just like that. Press it down gently. Okay, and the last thing that I want to add on are some dewdrops, so I'm going to pour out just a few, and I think that we should put 3 about right there, and then we might add on some more. I want to see how it looks first. So we'll put 1 right there, maybe a smaller one right there, and then we'll put a little teeny tiny one right there. And let's see, I kind of want to add on a couple more, maybe like 2 up here, so let's add on 2 right there. And we'll go in with about maybe the medium-sized ones. Maybe spread them apart a little bit. All right, and I think that that is all that we are going to add to our card today. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's video. I hope that you enjoyed it just as much as I did. I had so much fun ink blending with the Concord and 9th ink cubes. That was so much fun. I hope that you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!